Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from, where are we? Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yep, we arrived this afternoon, got all set up and everything. But first, before we go into that, how was your fun Friday? Did you have good belly laughs today? Did you get your Finish It Friday stuff done for work, for your business? And did you party hardy, or are you still waiting for the party to start? Yeah, that was our fun stuff today. So some people, depending on what time zone you're in, will already be having a party time, and some will still got that to look forward to. So how has our day been? Well, it's been good. We left at 10:30, like I said we would. We got here at 2 o'clock, so not too bad. We did not get groceries on. I don't know what it is with me going grocery shopping lately, but we got to the only Walmart supermart that was between where we were and where we were going. There was just the one. We got there, it was like 87 degrees outside. It was 90 something inside the RV. There was no way I could leave Zephy in the RV for that length of time, for me to, even 30 minutes to go in, and even though she would have had water and food and all of that sort of stuff. It was just too hot, and my generator needs servicing, so wasn't able to put the generator on so I could put the AC on. So I just made the call. It's like, screw it, the campground's going to have a store of some sort. We'll just pick up some essentials from there. We've only got a couple of days here, and then we can look at getting out of here early. When we get out of here early on Sunday, then we can stop at a market or something like that. So maybe we can find a farmer's market. That'd be cool. Fresh vegetables. That would be awesome. I'll have to have a look for that. But a funny thing happened. So let me set up the situation. Single female with a dog driving along in her RV, sees a hitchhiker, does not stop. Remember, we're in a, I call it a global pause, everybody else calls it a pandemic. There's a pandemic going on, apparently. I call it a global pause. So global pause going on. Everybody's wearing masks, or supposed to be, whatever. I'm leaving. I know it's serious. I physically cannot wear a mask. There's a hitchhiker on the side of the road. I go past without stopping because, 1, I'm a single female. 2, no idea if he's been exposed to COVID or not. 3, there was a sign that said, do not stop and pick up hitchhikers. I got double birdied by him. One finger on each hand as I went past him. I'm like, there's a big sign back there. I don't know if there was a prison somewhere nearby, but it said, do not stop to pick up hitchhikers. That was number 1. Number 2, single female traveling by herself. No way in hell am I picking up a hitchhiker. And number 3, we've got the whole COVID thing going on. So 3 strikes, sorry, not picking you up. And he gives me a double bird. I was like, well, enjoy your walk. He was towing along a suitcase on wheels behind him. Not even a backpack, a suitcase. And some old guy, big bushy beard and all of that sort of stuff. I was just like, yeah, no, not happening. But I couldn't believe I got a double birdie when he told me, when the signs say do not pick up hitchhikers, and he was not far beyond that sign. So he must have walked past that sign at some point. But whatever. So we get here, great. It's a nice small campground. There is a dog park here. We went down earlier to have a look at the dog park, but there was somebody in there with a couple of big dogs, and one person with 2 big dogs. Yeah, not taking Zephy in there. Not after the last incident when she had, when she got attacked. So I'm very cautious with people who have 2 dogs, because how can one owner control 2 dogs when there's a small dog wanting to come in and play? So we just went for a nice walk around. It was windy and dusty because it's gravel and dirt here. We're parked between trees. They're not tall trees, so they don't give us complete shade, but they do give us some shade on the side windows depending on the angle of the sun. Yeah, but it's a very dusty wind, so sinuses are going nuts with all this dust around. It's going nuts. Yeah, with all this dust and everything, it's just my sinuses are going nuts, and I'm out of Claritin D, and I'm like, ugh. So I'm on the essential oils though, but they help hold it at bay a little bit. But Claritin D just completely clears the head, completely clears the sinuses. Although I keep popping my little peppermint beadlets, and they work for so far, but it's the stuff going up in the nose that inflames everything. So I just suffer in silence. because it's still a super fantastic sparkling day. No matter what happens, it's a super fantastic sparkling day. And we're also on 30 amp power here, which means that I can only run 1 AC at a time, which is fine. I've got the one at the front running because that's the direction the sun is currently coming from. I would show you around in the campground, but it's a dust bowl out there right now. There's some wind whipping up, a good lot of dust out there. So yeah, we'll just leave that for another day. But John wanted to know, John had a genealogy question for us, and it was one that we got the other day, and I said I would do this, see if I could do it on the computer. So we're going to have a look at it on the computer. Wanting to know what type of forms and stuff is out there that you can use for when you're researching genealogy. So we're going to turn this around. Now, I got these all off Ancestry.com. So this is the Ancestral Chart. Up here is the number 1 on the chart is the same as person number blip on chart number. So this one here is for when you're, notice it says continuing on chart. So you can actually do several of these. But if you're starting out, you, your spouse, your parents, your dad's parents, your mother's parents. Okay, father's always at the male, always at the top. And then grandfather's parents. So these will be your great-grandparents. Grandmother's parents, grandfather's parents, grandmother's parents, and then you will continue them on the chart. And when you continue on the chart, you put a chart number 1, and you can have several charts, so you can link all these charts together, and it's a way of keeping it in a binder so that you can just flip through the binders and it tells you which chart to go to. So you may turn around and take all this one up to here and then continue that on chart number 2. And this will be chart number 3, chart number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9. Okay, this is just your straight pedigree line, your ancestral chart. This chart is also known as a pedigree chart as well, where it's just the straight thing. It doesn't involve siblings. Okay, so that's the first chart. The second chart we have, okay, so this is a research calendar. This is really cool because you put here the name of the family up here, your name here because you're doing the research, the date, the repository, is it a core number or microfilm, the description of the source, the time period and name search. So what years were you searching? Were you searching 1890s, maybe Smith and Jones, and what your results were. So it's just a way of, you keep this in the thing so that when you come across duplicate records, it's sort of, have I already researched this before? And it's a way that you can go back and have a look to see what you researched last time. Next one is source summary of information, family information. So you've got the husband, lineage chart number. Remember our first chart from the first page? And then, hang on, I gotta do this here. Zoom in. Oops. Okay, so up here, it's got the key where it's got B is for birth and christenings, M for marriage, D for death and burial, W for will, MIL for military, F for family with children, A for ancestral, L for land, O for obituary, and OTH for other. So on this form, we have the husband's name, the wife's name, lineage chart, and the individual number. So remember back to the pedigree chart where we had the numbers on there. So if we're looking at chart number 1, then the wife is number 2. And then the date that you found it, what you found, the name of the source, the author, publishing date, especially if it's the type of info that was on there, and the information found, and a file number if there is one. So these are just all, you don't have to use them all, they're just different. You might find a different method for using them, but these are ones that are available. This one is called a research extract. So this one here, you've got the family number and name, the repository, in other words, where it was found, the core number or the microfiche, description of the source. Even if it's a website, put the website in here. The description of the source, what information was on there. Is it indexed? What condition is it in? So this is if you're actually looking at a physical book in a library that has the name in there, you can put, is it indexed, what their classification number is, what condition the book is in, and the date that you were there. You also want the time periods and name search and the search objective, and then you transcribe your stuff down here. And again, you can adapt these to however you want to use them. This is my favorite, and I use it a lot. And you're probably looking at it going, that's a lot of lines. It's not that bad. Excuse me. This is called a family group sheet. Put your name up here, your relationship to the person that you're doing it for, your address, date, your ancestral chart number, and your family unit number. This is so you can submit. You can get them from Family Search as well. and they're basically the same format but slightly different. And you can actually submit your family trees to them using these forms. So here you have the husband's name would go here, and whenever you're writing out the last name, it's always in capitals, what his occupation was, his religion, and then down here the date, and it's day, month, year. Day, month, year. And whenever you write out the month, you write the first 3 letters of the month. You can write the month out in full if you've got the space, but otherwise it is the first 3 letters, because some countries are day month for their date, other countries are month. Well, in fact, only the US is month day. The US is the only country in the world that does month day. Everybody else in the world does day month. So instead of going 8/6/1890, now we don't know if it's if you're in the US, is it August the 6th, or if you're anywhere else in the world, is it the 8th of June? So by putting the day as the number, the month as the first 3 letters, and the year, it gets rid of all confusion. Then the city, county, and state or country where they were born, and over here you got born, christened, married, died, and buried, and then you've got the cemetery place here, and then over here you've got the name of the church they were married, christened in or married in, what the cause of death was, and the date of the will and probate was proved. Then you've got the husband's parents go here, any other wives that they had, and then you've got the wife, her maiden name goes in here always, again, and she's the same information that was for the husband. Then down here, you put in here the sex, male or female, given name of the children. You don't need to put their last name unless it's different from the husband's name. The day, month, and year they were born, where they were born, city, county, country, or state, when they got married. So the top is the top line. See up here it says date of first marriage, and place goes in there. I know it's a little line, and then the name of the spouse, and then date of death and cause, and the city in which it happened, and then their computer ID number. And as you're going through these, some computers will automatically assign them a number, so you just write them in down here. But this does up to 12 children. It goes down to number 12 down here, and that has the information. So, and you've got other places for others. So this is per family that you do this, and then you list all of their children. You can, if you want. I sometimes put an asterisk over in here next to the one that's my ancestor. So if my ancestor was the 3rd born in the family, I would put an asterisk next to his or her name, and then I know that everybody else is siblings to them. And I believe that is my last. Yes, I saved the best for last. So John, I hope that answers your question. I absolutely love the family group records when I'm doing that. You can also, if you're on Ancestry or Family Search, you can download documents. You can download the forms for free. They also have census documents as well. But one census form does not do all the census. So you got to look, am I doing the English census? Am I doing the US census? The US census is always on a year ending in 0. The English census always ends in a 1. And every census, they asked for different information. So when you bring up the census forms, actually I don't know if I can quickly bring it up. When you bring up the census forms, it will actually show you census forms. Okay, so this is on Ancestry. Okay, you will notice down here it says US Census, then it has the year listed, because every form is different, because they asked for different items. So that's the US Census, then you've got the UK Census. Again, all different. Canadian census forms are on here as well. Okay, they all asked for different information. So for example, on this one here, which is, I don't even know which one I pressed on, English of 1911, you can see all this information up the top here is very different from what would be asked. In fact, I don't even know what they're asking on this one. Let's see. So you've got name and so you've got the it says here name and surname of every person, whether member of family, visitor, boarder, or servant, who passed the night of Sunday, April 2nd, 1911, in this dwelling and was alive at midnight, or arrived in this dwelling on the morning of Monday, April 3rd, not having been enumerated elsewhere. No one else may be included. And then you have the relationship to the head of the family. Are they the head of the family, the wife, the son, the daughter, other relatives, visitor, boarder, or servants? Then their age at last birthday and the sex. So ages of males goes here, ages of females go here. For infants under 1, state the age in months as under 1 month, etc. Then particulars of married as to marriage. Are they single, married, widower, or widow, opposite the names of all persons aged 15 years and upwards. State for each married woman entered on the schedule, so that completed years the present marriage has lasted, if less than 1 year, right under 1. Children born alive to present marriage. So the total of children born alive, children still living, children who have died. And this goes on the married woman's things. This is in 1911. 1891, they didn't ask for this information. So this information can be good because maybe not all the children, say if they had 10 children, there may be 8 living, but there's not 8 living in the house at that time, and she's had 2 that died. So when you come across the 8 that are still living and they're not all listed there, where are the rest of them? Then you've got their profession or occupation, and here the type of work that they do, whether they're employed or they're an employer, a worker, or working on own account, and whether working at home. So they even took into account those that were working at home. Oh, darn. Hang on, gotta get back there. Hate it when it does this. Okay. And then the nationality. Oops, hang on, I'm trying to get it to move here. Helen's going to have to figure this one out. Oh, there we go, yay! Okay, so nationality of every person being person born in a foreign country. So if they were not born, so in this one, if they were not born in England and Wales, so here's the birthplace gets put in here. If they're born in a different country, it gets put into here. If they are in a hospital or infirmed in any way, are they deaf? Are they deaf, dumb, totally blind, lunatic, imbecile, feeble-minded? Basically, what is their state of mind? And any languages that are spoken are put into here. So that was 1911. If you go to a year earlier, there'll be completely different questions. You'll still have the name of the person, their age, whether they're married or single, and their occupation. But the other questions may change. Where were they born? You know, that's usually, birthplace is usually in there as well, and relationship to the head of household, except for in 1841, because in 1841 they just had the household listed, but they didn't put how each person was related to the head of the house. They didn't put down whether they were sons, daughters, husbands, wives, visitors, boarders, whatever. Then in 1851 they started doing that in the English census. So it's always good to be aware of what different questions were asked. So if you go to someone like Ancestry or Family Search, they have all the documents there, and you can actually download the documents for the year that you're looking at, and you can write out the family as it is listed in the census. So John, I hope that helps answer your question about what forms to use. There are a lot of forms. You can create your own if you want to. I personally love the family sheets. The pedigree chart is good for tracking my actual ancestral line. But I love the family sheet because it gives all the members of that family. And then the census forms helps as well when I'm researching the different families and I come across people with similar names. You know, father and mother are the same name as, you know, so for example, I had a George Eakins one time, and his parents was George and Sarah. Well, there were a few George and Sarahs. I was trying to figure out which George and Sarah it was. So I've been able to put on each, download the UK census forms and fill them in for those years. I was then able to go back, and it helped me do the research as well, because instead of just writing names down on a piece of paper, I now had them in a form which had where they were born, their nationalities, all of that, you know, how many children did the woman have, how many children were born alive, how many had died, how many were still living. That sort of information, if it was there, helped greatly. But it gave me somewhere to start my in-depth research into the George Eakins to find out which George Eakins and Sarah Eakins were the right ones to fit in the family tree. So very useful information that you can get from these. And the other I've got a little then as a bonus, I picked up this book ages ago. It's called Inspiration, Thoughts and Quotations for Every Day, and I just happened to open it to today's one, and it says well, it's not today's one, I just happened to open it to this page. The best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. that's my final thought for this fun Friday. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow for Shake It Up Saturdays. He konera.